not allow us to have record-breaking crime in Chicago and different places. I want them to admit they have crime. So there were 4,000 shootings in Chicago, murders over a fairly short period of time, meaning like a year and a half, I think. 4,000 murders. Many, many thousands of you're hit by a bullet but don't die. I want him to say we have a problem. Could Trump bring in the troops and solve the problem like I did in D.C., like I'm doing in Memphis? Have you seen the crimes way down in Memphis, and we've only been there 7 days? Way down.
The courts have been standing in your way here.
They have
held
been.
up.
The lower courts have.
Using the Insurrection Act?
The lower, well, I could use it. If I wanted to, I could use it. Look, that's a very simple answer. I'm allowed to use the Insurrection Act. In fact, that was on Stephanopoulos today, his Sloppodopoulos show. They asked Sloppy Chris Christie about the Insurrection Act. He said, well, if you're talking about the Insurrection Act, he's got the absolute right to use that. And he said a couple of things really good. He said 50% of the presidents that served in office have used the Insurrection Act. And the Insurrection Act, according to all of them, said it can't even be challenged. I don't have to go there yet because I'm winning on appeal. You know, you're right. We're losing with radical left judges, generally, radical left judges, and we're winning on appeal. So we'll see what happens.
I'll be speaking to Governor J.B. Pritzker tomorrow. Do you have any messages or questions for him?
Well, I think he should beg for help because he's running a bad operation. He's letting people be killed in his city because he doesn't want in Chicago. And I love Chicago. Chicago can be a great city again, and very quickly. I would have Chicago cleaned out, the criminals removed, we would remove them. You know, in D.C. we took out 1,700 career criminals, hard-line criminals. That's why it's so good right now. D.C.'s setting records the other way. It's never been so safe. And the restaurants have never done better business. They're opening up new restaurants. They were closing restaurants, now they're opening new restaurants. I can do the same thing on a larger scale in Chicago. And Pritzker should ask me to do it. But when you mentioned insurrection, I mean, you were the one that mentioned, one of you mentioned Insurrection Act. I can do that. And many presidents have.
Do you have an update on
50%, Katie, 50% of the presidents have used the insurrection because they don't want to go through this stuff where somebody said there's no crime and 4,000 people got shot. You know, right?
maybe you'll have to use it.
You don't have to convince because she tends to be on the conservative side.
Do you have an update on the Schumer shutdown and Democrats still continuing to
Well, it is a
refuse
Schumer
to vote for the
shutdown. I mean,
continuing
it's,
vote?
look, they want to have health care for illegals that have come in. Many of these people are criminals, and they want to have health care. And what it also does is, you know, we have nobody coming in now. We haven't really locked down. If they start winning cases like this, we're going to have a rush on our border because they're going to come up for health care and the other things that they give away. Look at Newsom. Education, health care, he gives everything away. People come up for that. People come from other countries for that. So we can't have it. We can't have that. We have people coming into our country, but they're coming in legally.
Do you have any more meetings
We have
with
the
leadership?
strongest border we've ever had. But they are coming in, Katie. They're coming in legally through a process.
Do you have any planned meetings with House and Senate leadership on the Republican side to
Yeah,
figure
I mean,
out
I'm
this
meeting
week?
with them. I talk to them all the time. John Thun's been great, and Mike has been great. Speaker, he's been great. Those two guys have done a great job. But we're dealing with a bunch of radical left lunatics that have lost an election in a landslide. They don't even admit that. I mean, think of it. They lost the election 2,700 in terms of counties to 525. That's where the map is entirely, right? They lost all 7 swing states. They lost the popular vote. And then they say, oh, the election was close. She says the election was a landslide. But they lie. You know, they can take any subject like this sometimes. He says, oh, no, Los Angeles is still great. If we didn't go into Los Angeles, they would have had to cancel the Olympics. And the head of law enforcement said, and he said it very strongly, we could not have handled this if Trump didn't bring those people in. 2 weeks later, he said, oh, we could have, because he was told to say that. But we did a great job in Los Angeles. You wouldn't have first of all, you lost half of it with the fires. And this would have been, I think this would have been maybe even worse. They had no control. When we went in, the police had totally lost control. And he admitted it. The head whoever he is, whatever his name is.